Hello, this is Roland. Today I want to begin a series of lectures about food. And what got me started was today I received a live chat from a person that asked about Old Testament dietary laws and whether we need to follow them. And it's not a simple question, but there's a short answer and a long answer. Okay, so there is a simple answer, but then there's a longer answer. The short answer is that um, in the New Testament, for example, the Apostle Paul, speaks about. He said that everything is lawful to me, but not everything is expedient, or everything is lawful, but not everything is proper or wise. Okay, so that's the short answer. Um, I do need to say also, or I would like to say that when you look at the Old Testament, first of all, you were dealing with a people that were basically the lowest of the third world types of people, the ancient Israelitish people. They were worshiping idols, and I'm sure they had terrible um, health practices and so on. Just like nowadays, you go to a third world country, you have people there. They don't even know how to wash. They don't even know how to. They're illiterate. They don't even know to wash their hands after they before they eat. Things like that. They don't know. They don't know basic health practices, for example. Okay, so number one, God had to raise these people up to proper standards. Secondly, He wanted to make it clear that He was separating them off, separating them from the rest of the heathen world. He wanted them to have higher standards, and He taught them what He expected of them. Okay. Thirdly, He made some rules for them to obey. It's good for people to obey. If it's a good authority, then it's good for people to obey that authority. See, if you have a good father, and father says, don't go out after 10 o'clock, then if you obey father, it's good for you because he stands for what's right. And when you cooperate with what he says, then you're also doing what's right. See, it's a beautiful thing. So you have that. And the third thing is that there were some things involved that would just not be healthy. For example, eating pork. Back then, pork had trichinomas. Okay, and it was not healthy. Best thing was not to eat. It was not safe. Okay, well today it's better, but it's still not good. There's still possibility of trichinomas today. Plus, pigs are dirty animals, and you'd be better off if you would be better off eating less meat, and if you eat any meat, to eat very good quality meat. See what I mean? So it's a common sense there. So all of those things were involved, and then finally there were some things that God wants. Things having to do with blood, not having eating the meat with blood, and so forth. There are reasons. God has His reasons, some spiritual reasons for things, and so He laid those out. But now things are a little, somewhat different now. We have, after Christ came, see, now we have the law of liberty, as Paul called it. So all things are lawful. I mean, you could say sort of all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. See, so for example, I'll just give you a very simple example. Um, it's okay for me to have a little drink of wine. Okay, if I wanted to have a little glass of wine, it would be okay. It's not wrong to have a little glass of wine. Okay, but I'm not going to have a glass of wine. First of all, because I don't care for it. I don't need it. Um, but secondly, because someone might get the wrong idea if they see me drinking a glass of wine. They think, well, look at him. He calls himself a pastor and he's drinking. See what I mean? So I'm not going to have a glass of wine because it was said people could get the wrong impression. See what I mean? See how that is? All right. So we have all of that. So now you see um, that things are different now than they were then. That's the short answer. Okay, so we don't want to be you know, nitpicking and straining at the gnat and trying to figure out how many angels dance on the head of a pin. Remember that old in the Middle Ages they were legalistic. So we don't want to be legalistic about it, but we definitely want to have common sense. Now the other thing that we have now is we have access to our intuition, common sense, and even to the Holy Spirit. Okay, so if we look within, we ought to be able to see whether something is wise or not. And if we don't know, then we might be delicately led to the right information. You see what I mean? Where we could know. So we have our common sense, we have our intuition, we have our conscience. And so it's amazing how common sense and intuition will take you a long way in knowing whether something is wise or not. Okay, so now let us look at today. If someone were to put down some laws today for the good of people, okay, this would be just for the good of people, okay, not to be mean, but to help them. What would they say? Well, for example, they might say, don't drink soda pop. Okay, now the soda pop has soft drinks, in other words, have high fructose corn syrup in them. Not good. Okay, and they have what, phosphorus, I think. Not good. Not to mention all other kinds of bad things. Plus, they're empty calories. They're empty calories. So people say, well, how about diet soda? It's just as bad, maybe even worse, because it has aspartame in it. Aspartame. Okay? If you look up aspartame and find out what it really is and what it does to the body, not good. Okay? So I would say don't drink soda pop. You know, I want to mention this. Oh, I want to mention two things before, because I want to keep this video short. It's just the beginning. This is just the beginning. I want to mention my book. Okay, let's see if I can get it up here where it's not too bright. There it is. Forbidden Food: The Legacy of Paradise Lost and the Promise of Redemption. It's a beautiful book, very deep. It talks about why we have food issues, okay, and why we have health issues concerning food. And it talks about father hunger. See, for a lot of people, food is a substitute for love. Okay, a lot of people today, their father's not there for them, or wasn't there for them. They don't have a father, or he's gone, or he's not there for them. And so they resent their father. They resent fatherhood for having failed them, see? And then in their emptiness they eat, and then have food issues, see? And all of these issues, things like bulimia and anorexia and so on, have a lot to do with not father not being there for them, see? So this is an excellent book. So you really should. You could go to commonsensecounseling.org and you can preview it there. It's also on Amazon in Kindle paperback. Forbidden Food. Okay, the legacy of Paradise Lost and the promise of redemption. Now the other thing I want to mention is today I was watching some videos as part of some research I was doing. A beautiful song called Júrame, Júrame, Swear to Me or Promise Me, okay, written by Maria Greve. She's a nice lady from Mexico, a composer. Júrame. And there were singers who, Jose Carreras, remember him, the great opera singer? Placido Domingo sang it. Okay. And so there were opera singers who sang it, and they did very nicely. But then there was a video, a very sweet video of some young people on the stage, and they were three couples, and they sang it, and it was beautiful because it was the couples singing to each other, the man and the woman singing to each other. But you know something, two of the couples were very heavy. They were very, very overweight. And it almost made me cry because I've seen that so much now when I go to concerts. A lot of young people are very heavy, okay, way overweight, and it breaks my heart because I know it's not good for them health-wise. And so I see that there's something wrong with the food now. So if somebody made rules today, what would they say? They'd say, don't drink soft drinks, regular soft drinks or diet soft drinks, okay? It would say stay away from fast food as much as you can. Stay away from it. Just don't eat it. Stay away from boxed food and processed foods, okay? That's very important. Stay away from MSG and aspartame and high fructose corn syrup. Those are just some of the things that are not good, okay? And watch out for, everything now has soy in it. Everything is soy, soy, soy. Mostly genetically modified, okay? So go with organic vegetables and organic fruit as much as you can, okay? If you have a little tiny, tiny bit of fast food occasionally, it's not going to hurt you, or a little, maybe once a week. One burger, for example, or what. So watch out for those. Watch out for the meat. Most of the meat now has hormones in it, and a lot of other things, but hormones. Okay, so take it easy on the meat. If you have a little bit of meat, then try to find some meat that doesn't have hormones in it. Grass-fed beef or chicken that does. You see what I mean? Now a lot of stores. When I go into all the different grocery stores, Safeway and Lucky and Raley's and Andromicos and all the ones that we have over here, they all have organic because people want it. So look for the organic, and see. So you see what I mean? And watch out for the plastics. Everything has wrapped in plastic and comes in plastic. Don't drink water out of. Don't have a plastic water bottle. Don't buy these throwaway bottles of bottled water in plastic. You think, oh, isn't this wonderful? Well, it's not wonderful. First of all, it may not be really good water. They say it is. Maybe it's not. But secondly, it's in plastic. So it has these PCBs or whatever they are in it. I can't think of the name of it. Get yourself a nice glass, which I have a real stylish one from Europe. I should have brought it with me so I could show you. Stylish one that's made of glass with a nice rubber covering on, or stainless steel. Okay, and get some good so you see, there's just these basic things. So I don't eat high fructose corn syrup. I don't have any diet aspartame or any of those things, or sucralose and all those different phony sugars. I don't have any of them, okay? If I have any, I have to have a little bit of honey or grade B maple syrup maybe. So you see, you just have to, you absolutely have to watch out for the food now. Okay, well, that's what my common sense tells me. That's what my intuition tells me. Okay? Okay, and where do I get my common sense and my intuition? But from the good Lord. Okay? So my dietary habits have changed a lot ever since I began to meditate properly, began to wake up and meditate properly. Over the years, see, I've learned a lot about food, and slowly but surely, see, my habits have changed. So where once I needed to have a donut, or I would need to have candy, see what I mean, things that now I have no interest in it anymore. I'm not saying you can do that overnight, but I'm saying if you start, for example, to meditate, to use my meditation, okay, which I have a free one. I have free meditations, okay? All they do is help you to come out of your trance, so you're not, mindlessly, see, buying things, and then just start. So you, but you absolutely have to stay away from the the aspartame and the MSG and the processed food and the genetically modified food and the meat with hormones in it. And see what I mean? Just have to. But luckily you have alternatives now in all the stores. See, so so that would be really important. And the plastic water bottles and so on. Get a nice glass water bottle, stainless steel water bottle. See? All right. So I see. So you see, that would be those would be some of the things we would be telling people now. So you can slowly but surely begin to wake up and to be wise. Okay, to eat more wisely. All right. Well, this is the first video in the series. Hope you enjoyed it. Covered a lot of ground. Um, Basically, a short answer, but it gets you started. It'll get you started. Okay. Um, the other thing we need to mention is about weight. A lot of these a lot of the antidepressants and the antipsychotic medications. See, I remember one time I saw a representative of some drug company was making a video, and he said that when they saw somebody walking down the street that was super overweight, they said they could say that's one of ours. They're taking our medication. He said that. So you have to be wise. You have to look for. You have to see. They say to make it. It's good to make an informed consent. Everybody says that, right? All the doctors say it. All the they all say it. The government says it. The CD. They all say it. Not good to be able to make an give your informed consent. Well, how can you give informed consent unless you see both sides, unless you know both sides, unless you've researched both sides, okay, of these issues of drugs and medications and vaccines and all of those. You see what I mean? You have to see both sides. My name and research. Find out about both sides. That way you can make an informed decision. My name is Roland.